बोल भाष्यकार रामानुज स्वामी जी महाराज की। यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मा व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। रामानुज स्वामी जी महाराज की। प्रिय भगवत बंधु, observe the distancing, sit with distancing in between, no clumsiness, not touching with each other. Today is the fourth day of Bhagavad Ramanuja Swamiji's 104th Tirunakshatram, the birthday. Tomorrow we are going to have the final celebration of offering Abhishekam to Ramanujacharya Swami, and we are all going to chant Sri Ramanujanuthandadi and also his Ashtottaram together. Every day we are trying to understand a few activities of our Acharya as how he did and why. And then what was the impact of those activities in general on the society and of course in particular on us. We are trying to understand it from the messages of our Acharyas. Every day, Dr. Rangaramanujacharya Swamiji also is gracing us. Of course, today he is not here. And today we are going to have a discourse by our Sriman Krishnamacharya Swami and also from our Ahobila Ramanuja G.R. Swamiji. Before that, we have our Vedic children here who are also interested in speaking just a few words about Acharya as a token of their gratitude. 3 students are going to speak on the life history of Ramanujacharya Swami. Very interestingly, our JET USA is going to conduct a round-the-clock event for tomorrow. They are having the program for 24 hours continuously so that people from across the globe can take part in different ways. There will be discourses, there will be a small presentations, there will be probably a few quiz programs, and there will be some songs, and so many things will be there in that event. Those who are having access can participate, or those who are interested can take the access from the office and still they can take part in that event. There will be so many incidents that impact the society. Of course, some for good and some for ruination. We know there were a few people like Hitler. They also did something. They had an impact on the society too. but it is very soaring. Whenever we think of that, it gives a kind of very, very hard feeling for the people who believe in the human values, in the humanity. But there are great acharyas too, who made their own mark in the annals of the history, that too with gold letters. We know many people come, many people go, just like the waves of the ocean. But every person may not be having one's own impact in the history. Many people, most of the times, they live for their own selfish ends. Probably they want to focus themselves. They want to present their own thoughts. But very few people in the history we see, those who stand for the authenticity and those who are obedient to the lineage of their own acharyas. And of course, acharyas are different for all of us. I have my own acharya. You may be having your own acharya too. But for all the acharyas, unquestionably, there are few people who showed the path of righteous, the path of dharma, the path of Vedas, whom we call rishis. They are unquestionable. Doctrines may be like Dvaita, Advaita, Visishta Advaita, Dvaita Advaita, Suddha Advaita. So many schools of thought are there. But to any one of those acharyas, those who found those doctrines, rishis are only authority. Among such rishis, because rishis are also so many in numbers, there are few sages who are unquestionably accepted as authoritarians, like Vasishtha, accepted by everybody; Parasara, accepted by everybody; Vedavyasa, accepted by everybody. There are no questions like whether he is an Advaiti or Dvaiti or Visishta Advaiti. Let him be following any school of thought. But everybody should accept the sage Vasishtha. Everybody should accept the sage Parasara. Everybody should accept the sage Vedavyasa. That is the reason Brahma Sutras written by Vedavyasa are only the things taken by the acharyas following either Sankaracharya following Advaita, Ramanujacharya following Visishta Advaita, or Madhvacharya following Dvaita, or Vallabhacharya following Suddha Advaita, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu following Bheda Bheda, Achintya Bheda Bheda. Yeah. So, Brahma Sutras are written by Vedavyasa. Then there is no question whether what he said is right or wrong. Whatever he said should be accepted as it is. Of course, your interpretation may differ. You may give your own interpretation to that, but that's different thing. But accepting him as authority, no questions are asked for that. And Vedavyasa's father, sage Parasara, there also there was no question at all. Sankaracharya Swami, while presenting his commentary on the books like either Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutras, or Upanishads, he quotes sage Parasara and he takes the messages given by sage Parasara. Whatever they have taken also were taken by Ramanujacharya Swami. Ramanujacharya Swami did not opt for any new sage or any other message. Whatever the acharyas, previous acharyas, of course, following different school, have taken as authority, Ramanujacharya Swami also was taken such scripture only and gave right interpretations for those slokas or mantras. Yamunacharya Swami wrote a beautiful stotra. It is called Stotra Ratnam. Usually people call it as Alavandar Stotram also. In that Stotra Ratna, he adored the great sage Parasara as the most authority in all the Vedic scriptures. Tatvena yaschidachidiswara tatsvabhava bhogapavarga tadupaya gatirudaraha sandarsayan niramimita purana ratnam tasmai namo munivaraya parasaraya. He says, I prostrate before the sage Parasara. Sage Parasara. Munivaraya Parasaraya is not an ordinary sage. He is the most respectable sage. Munivaraya. Why? Niramimita Purana Ratnam Yaha, who wrote the gem of all the Puranas called Vishnu Purana. Though the name is Vishnu Purana, but accepted by all the acharyas. And he wrote that Purana declaring the essence of Vedic literature. What did he declare in that? Was the question. Yaha chit achit Ishvara tatsvabhava bhoga apavarga gatihi udaraha niramimita. With all generosity he wrote that scripture. What were the things that he decided in that? Chit, about the soul's existence. Achit, about the existence of the nature. Ishvara, the ruler of these two. Because soul is not independent. Nature has no knowledge at all. And nature also is controlled. And souls are also controlled by some unknown power called Ishvara. Ishvara is the controller, is the ruler. And who is that ruler? Who is that controller? How does he control? Why does he control? All these things should be known. And they were discussed and decided in that Vishnu Purana. Not only those things. Tat Svabhava, their very essential natures, essential qualities, their essential features. Bhoga, and what are the experiences each one of them will have. Apavarga, after leading the life here, what is the goal? Where does the soul go? We know people around us are not living here permanently. No one. We know, we have seen our own great-grandparents who were living once upon a time, but not there here now. We know many people around in the world, but they are leaving this world.
నాణ్యతకు నమ్మకానికి మారుపేరు సాయి మహేంద్ర ట్రేడర్స్. హోల్సేల్ అండ్ రిటైల్ మరియు కిరాణా జనరల్ స్టోర్. మా వద్ద అన్ని రకాల నిత్యావసర సరుకులు సరసమైన ధరలకే లభించును. స్వచ్ఛమైన నాణ్యమైన బియ్యంతో పాటు అన్ని వస్తువులు హోల్సేల్ మరియు రిటైల్ ధరలకు అందుబాటులో కలవు. అనువైన ధరలలో నాణ్యమైన వస్తువుల కొరకు సంప్రదించండి. సాయి మహేంద్ర ట్రేడర్స్ హోల్సేల్ అండ్ రిటైల్ మరియు కిరాణా జనరల్ స్టోర్. మా అడ్రస్ నాగారం టు కీసరా మెయిన్ రోడ్ నియర్ రాంపల్లి ఎక్స్ రోడ్. కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్ 9247575485 మరియు 6300322583.
And they are, once stopping their life journey, then is there anything after this body has disposed of? And if at all is there, then what is that and how is that and what happens to that? After the body is given up, then what would be the future? What happens next? Because this is a big question. That also was discussed. What happens to the soul after leaving the body? And gati, what is the path through which these travel? We know the paths that lead to the different places, different villages and different cities and countries. But what is that path the soul travels? How it would be? This nobody knows. But the scriptures talked about those paths also. And what are they? And to tread those paths, what this soul living in the body should do? What are the means to attain such a kind of ultimate? These are the things that we should be knowing. And not just simply talking about those things, but tattvena. They should be revealed, they should be discussed, they should be decided as it is, as they are discussed in Vedas or in probably the auxiliary scriptures that talk about the essence and the ways and means of those scriptures. Parasara sage talked about all these things. He discussed about all these things in his Vishnu Purana. That's why Shankaracharya Swami took the Vishnu Puranam as most authentic scripture. That's why Ramanuja Swami also has taken that. Not because Ramanuja Swami liked it. Whatever that you believe in and taking that as the base, the things must be decided, right? I believe in one, you believe in something else, and then we both start discussing. That never comes to a conclusion. That never makes any kind of sense also, isn't it? If we want to discuss, if we want to debate on something, that means there must be a common book, there must be a common code that is acceptable to both the ends. Then only the discussion goes. Now for a word, I give some meaning and you say some other meaning, and then we start discussing. Do you think that it comes to a conclusion? No. Parasara sage accepted something and you like it, I do like it. Because we both believe in sage Parasara and his work, then come on, let us discuss whether the work done by Parasara Maharshi, a sloka given by Parasara Maharshi, gives that meaning or not. There we have to come to an understanding. But how to decide that? Whether my meaning is right or your meaning is right? There is other scripture called grammar. I think grammar is a common thing, right? When I say eating, that means now he is doing that work. Or I can say what was done an year ago, but I use some other word, then he was eating then. Then eating, though present tense, but it talks about the past tense also, right? But this is a grammar, what we say. That grammar has its own rules and regulations for every word as how it should be interpreted. And the same thing for Sanskrit also. Same thing for Vedic mantras also. So basing on those things, come on, let us discuss. But authority for both of us is the same. This is how Ramanuja Swami made discussions, not something, he took some other book on his own and then started discussing which you won't believe in. Then, see, we know in the world there are few atheist people. They never believe in the existence of God. They never believe in Vedas. And if an atheist comes to you and then you start talking to him, my Veda said so, my Ramayana said so, my Bharata said so, my Bhagavata said this, then that fellow laughs at you. I didn't believe in Vedas, I didn't believe in Ramayana, Bharata, Bhagavata, etc., etc. Why you take that book and why you want to argue with me? I never believed in that. So, there must be a common platform for people to have a discussion, to have a talk. Then only an understanding, an ultimate result is, accrued. But anyway, Parasara Maharshi was such a great sage, accepted, unquestionably accepted by all schools of thought. So also Vedavyasa Maharshi, accepted by everybody irrespective of what school of thought they follow. That's why on Guru Purnima, which falls in August or July, the Ashadha Purnima is accepted by all schools of thought and all acharyas to worship their own lineage of gurus, having the Vedavyasa as the initiator, as the first person. So Vedavyasa was accepted by everybody, and his father Parasara also. Ramanujacharya Swami taken those what were accepted by others and gave right interpretations to them. And he always says, I don't want to impose something of my own ideology on you. No. When you take a mantra and give a meaning or interpret in a particular way, whether that interpretation is really proper or improper, that is what I want to tell you. Because there are books like grammar, etc. So I keep the meanings. You choose whatever is right, basing on the other scriptures. Because you have knowledge, I have knowledge, and there are many people around us who have such kind of knowledge also. Let them come and decide whether that interpretation is in accordance with the grammatical rules or this interpretation is in accordance with the rules of the grammar. That is where we appreciate or we adore Ramanujacharya Swami. He says, let us follow the rules. Rules are common, right, for everybody? Yes. They should be respected. Grammar is respected. Logic is respected by everybody. Take the logic and take the thing and then discuss. Ramanujacharya Swami has presented 9 works, we know that, right? He gave 3 commentaries on Brahma Sutras. One very short, very, very, very short, just like the word to word meaning like, and other one is just like the essence of it, the purport of that, and the third one is with details, with all elaboration. The brief work is called Vedanta Saram. Vedanta Sara. And with a purport, whatever he presented, basing on the Brahma Sutras, is called Vedanta Deepa. And the elaborated commentary on Brahma Sutras is called Sri Bhashyam. That is also Vedanta, that is also commentary on Vedanta Sutras, but it is specifically named as Sri Bhashyam. You know why? It is because of that. Who is that? The other one sitting on the other side is Mother Saraswati. It is Mother Saraswati who gave the title to Ramanujacharya Swami as your work will be called from today as Sri Bhashya. And you, Sri Bhashyakara, the one who made Sri Bhashyam. So people call you as Sri Bhashyakara. So Ramanujacharya Swami was having the title as Sri Bhashyakara. This is given by Mother Saraswati herself. Where? That is what we are going to hear from our Ahobila Ramanujacharya Swamiji, of course, within few moments. And these are the three works on Brahma Sutras. Brahma Sutras are written by Vedavyasa, deciding the quintessence of all the Upanishads. But the commentaries, three, were dedicated to Brahma Sutras. And then, basing on the Upanishads, Ramanujacharya Swami wrote a small work called Vedardha Sangraham. He did not write specific commentary on Upanishads. Shankaracharya Swami wrote a commentary on Upanishads, but Ramanujacharya Swami did not. You know why? If you understand the basic principles of how to understand the words which are appearing to be contradicting each other, like God has form, God has no form. There are three realities, but there is one reality. These are, contradicting each other. If there is one, there should not be three. If there are three, one is not right. And if somebody says that God has divine qualities, and if someone says God has no qualities at all, they are contradicting each other. So, there are many mantras which appear to be contradicting each other. There should be a common solution to interpret this kind of things. If that is understood, no special commentary is needed. Whatever Shankaracharya Swami has written is very good. Only at those places where there are probably non-cohesiveness with other mantras should be resolved. That's why Ramanujacharya Swami presented Veda Ardha Sangraha. This Vedardha Sangraha gives the proper way to understand the Upanishads. Like, as I said, when the mantra says God has divine qualities, another mantra says God has no qualities. Then what is this Upanishads? They speak as if a mad guy is speaking. It looks like that. And then Ramanujacharya Swami comes into the picture and says, hey, look, there are some other mantras which say how to understand this type of mantras.
సెరెనిటీ మోడల్ హై స్కూల్ విద్యార్థులకు అమ్మఒడి, సామాన్యులకు అందుబాటులో ఉన్న బడి సెరెనిటీ. మేడ్చల్ జిల్లాలో మేటిగా నిలిచి సాటిలేని ఫలితాలను సాధిస్తున్న నంబర్ 1 స్కూల్ సెరెనిటీ. మా ప్రత్యేకతలు ప్రతి విద్యార్థి పట్ల వ్యక్తిగత శ్రద్ధ, యాక్టివిటీ బేస్డ్ లెర్నింగ్ అండ్ డిజిటల్ క్లాస్ రూమ్స్, కంప్యూటర్ ల్యాబ్, 100% ఫలితాలు, స్పోర్ట్స్ అండ్ కల్చరల్ యాక్టివిటీస్, యోగా, అబాకస్ మరియు వేదిక్ మ్యాథ్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. ప్లీజ్ విజిట్ Serenity Model High School, Nagaram. Admissions are in progress. Call 040-271-46899 and 040-271-48699.
They are called Ghataka Srutis. Ghataka Sruti. Ghataka means which bridge the gap. Which bridge the gap. How do they bridge the gap? Mantras are mantras only. And the meaning is the same. Mantra said no quality, and another mantra says full of qualities. Then there are some more mantras. What type of qualities are not there? What type of qualities are there? Take such kind of mantras, and then you can bridge the gap. God, yes, nirgunaha. God has no gunas at all. Usually, when we talk about the qualities, whatever we people have always with us, only come into our mind, right? This kind of qualities are not there with God. But when the mantra says that God has qualities, He got qualities of His own, which are beyond our limitations, which are beyond our comprehension. God has Rupam and God has no Rupam also. Rupam is the form. Some mantra says God has no form at all, Ni Rupa. And some other mantra says, oh, God has Divya Kalyan Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatte Pasyami Yosavaso Purushasoham Asmi. And some other mantra says, Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam. You have so beautiful form. So what is this? Some mantra says no form, some mantra says beautiful form. It's contradicting each other, right? And Ramanujaya Swami comes and says, there is a way to understand these mantras. Like when the mantra says God has no form, He has no form like you and I have. We also have forms, right? But our forms are so ugly. So ugly. Morning, we wash it with all, consuming probably a couple of soaps. And then apply a lot of things on the face. And then come and sit. And within a few moments, and again it becomes, so scary. So scary. People look at us, run away. జనరల్గా చెప్తూ ఉంటాం రాత్రిపూట కల్లోకి వచ్చేట్టుగా ఉంటుంది మళ్ళీ. అదో పెద్ద వినభూతంలాగా. This is our form. And also we know, when we born, our form is pretty little. But now it is so big. But after some time, then it starts so many wrinkles take place in the face. And then the body starts a deterioration. And then one day, gone. Nothing is here. Totally will get disintegrated. This is our form. But do you think that God's form also will be like this? No. His form is ever fresh, ever beautiful, enhancing beauty, increasing his charm. That is His form. So whenever the mantra says there is a form, it's so beautiful form. Whenever the mantra says that no form like you and I, this is how the mantras were interpreted. And another mantra says God has no birth at all. But some other mantra says God has so many births. Are? No birth and many births? How does it, go together? And then it is Ramanuja Swami again interprets when there is mantra talking that no birth, we have births, but our births are based upon the karma we have accumulated. We have some karmic records behind us, and basing on those karmic records only we are receiving this body. It is not our choice, isn't it? Is your body your choice? No, no one's. If it is our choice, do you know what kind of body we take? We take a body with 4 horns. We take a body with so many teeth. We take a body. Now I think probably you must have seen people, they have hair like this. Did you see such people? No? Yeah. And giving money, they make such a kind of design. As I said, no, the other day we went to inaugurate something, and surprisingly it was a saloon. I didn't know that it is so. But simply I went, and when I saw inside, it was something strange things are seen. And I asked them how much, you collect for a person when they enter and go. 5,000 minimum. Minimum 5,000. Probably it is a branded saloon. So, and there the designs they create were something like. So, our farms, we few things, in spoiling the stuff that we have our choice, but not in getting the body. This is not our choice. This is given by someone else. Neither your mom has any role, nor your dad has any role. Even they didn't know anything about this. They have no idea at all. But we got this body. That means somebody selected and gave this to you. And why did he select? Because there is a previous record called karma. Basing on that karma, these bodies are coming to us. We have no role to play here. Just simply follow the rule of the body. That's all. Being in the human body, and if you say, no, I want to fly in the sky, you can fly, but then you have to take care of your bones. And you need so much, probably, arrangement if you want really to fly into the sky. Birds they do not need anything. They simply fly. That's all. See how the sparrows are just flying here and there. They don't need anything. But you just can't do that. You need so much if you really want to fly in the sky. Body, what we had today, is somebody's choice based upon the karmic records we have accumulated on our own. But God never comes into bodies based on the karmas. So whenever the mantra says that he is Jayamanaha, he comes to this world like Rama, like Krishna, like Varaha, like Vamana, like Trivikrama. Take any form in that sense. They are not based on the karmas. Being in the fish body, he is not attached to any karma of the fish. Being in the body of a boar, he is not at all connected to any activity of that body. Sometimes, he took the form like a tree in Naimisaranyam. He took the form of a stone in Muktinath or in Badrinath. He took the form of water in Pushkar. But he is not attached to the other things what the other objects of such species enjoy. So he is beyond the karmic bondage and limitations. And whenever the mantra says that he has no birth, yes, he has no birth based on the karma. When he says birth is there, he is having birth of his choice. He has the birth as he wants. Can you become 5 in this body? But he became 1,000. He took 1,000 forms. Is it possible? No. So, mantras sometimes appear contradicting each other, but there is a way how to come to an understanding between them. That's where Ramanuja Swami wrote a book called Veda Ardha Sangraha. And then he gave a very beautiful and lucid commentary on Bhagavad Gita called Gita Bhashya. And then he gave a beautiful and brief note as how the worship is to be offered to God, of course in mutts and mandirs. That's called Nitya Grantha. It's not common for everybody. It's not common for every household. But it is just exclusively for the mutts and mandirs, the way as how the worship is to be done. And then, speaking of his own heart, he wrote 3 passages called Gadya Trayam. Saranagati Gadya, Sriranga Gadya and Vaikuntha Gadya. This is how Ramanuja Swami wrote 9 works. A few to answer others, and a few to give perfect interpretations to the mantras, but few speaking of his own heart, bringing out something what is there in his heart. That's how he wrote 9 works. But for all of these things, it is the grace of the great sages. So, we have acharyas in the world. Many acharyas are there. But there are very, very few acharyas who followed such kind of rishis like Parasara and Vedavyasa and their lineage. Not only just believed in them, but practiced what they said. And then preached the same. There are people who believe in something, speak something, and say something. Sometime back, probably 30 years before, a great well-known guru, I don't want to say the name, but a guru, very well established and probably very renowned also, he was telling, in not just in a privacy, but in a public congregation, we believe, in Shakti, but we wear the dress like Shiva, but we speak Narayana. Antasaktam Bahisaivam Vyavaharecha Vaishnavam. This is what exactly he spoke. And the next day, a scholar, a normal social person, came to us and said, Swamiji, did not he feel shame to say that I have something in my mind and something in my word and something in my appearance? Manasyekam vachasyekam karmanyekam sadatmanam. For good people, they believe the same thing, they speak the same thing, and they do the same thing. But karmanyanyat, manasanyat, vachasi anyat, dash, 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 he said. Not me, he said. He said, Swamiji, it is what the Niti Shastra says, and that great scholar speaks like that in the public discourse, and didn't he feel shame to say so? That is what he asked. But that's how it is. Ramanujacharya Swami is well worshipped by all because that he believed in Vedas, he followed the Vedic lineage, and he preached the Vedic essence through his works. That's how we follow Ramanujacharya Swami as a preceptor. So nice it is anyway. And today we are going to listen first of all from our Vedic children. They speak, of course, in their, either they may speak in Sanskrit or maybe in, who is speaking now first? In Sanskrit or in Hindi? Oh, he is speaking in Sanskrit. So let's enjoy first of all their words, because Balavak, Brahmavak, right? So let us start with them. Come on.
శివగాయత్రి ఎంటర్ప్రైజెస్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూటర్స్ ఫర్ సబ్మెర్సిబుల్ పంప్స్ మీ గృహ వ్యవసాయ పారిశ్రామిక నీటి అవసరాలకు స్పైరన్ మరియు కోర్సా సబ్మెర్సిబుల్ పంప్స్ మరియు డిస్ట్రిబ్యూటర్స్ ఫర్ వాటర్ సాఫ్ట్నర్స్ హిమజల్ ఆర్వో ప్లస్ ఆల్కలైన్ వాటర్ ప్యూరిఫైర్స్. శివగాయత్రి ఎంటర్ప్రైజెస్